All right. Okay, we are here. Everybody out there, what's up? What's up? And we thank you guys for tuning in to the Sweet Somethings podcast, where we hope that you can glean so that you can grow. I am here with two great individuals for the June 2024 recap. Give it up. Woo! I need sound effects. I am here with Jessyka and Wayne Payne, and I have them introduce themselves. Man, these are just two individuals that I've been thankful to just walk alongside in life. Like every time I'm in space with them, it's just always a blessing. Always just receiving some type of knowledge or something that takes me higher, whether it be within myself or something I could drop on somebody else. So I'm thankful that both of them are here today. So I'll let you guys just introduce yourself, briefly. You can say whatever. I don't know, favorite color or something like that.
Jessyka Van. I've met Joffrey through a social group in Orlando, and he became one of my clients at the nail salon.
True.
Shameless plug.
True.
And he also came to one of my paint nights that I do there.
Hold on, get it right.
You too. Right, the first one you went rogue, and you made your whole. He made a whole new painting by himself.
Picasso. I gotta get my Picasso on,
And so we got a chance to kind of talk a little bit, and I was really touched, and I felt really enlightened by you. Actually,
wow.
You seem to be growing, and I could learn a lot of lessons from you as well. So I enjoy talking to you.
Hey man, likewise, Jess. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hey y'all, if you got to get your nails done, if you're in Orlando, make sure you go to the nail salon over there on Cimarron.
It's literally called the nail salon.
Yeah, literally.
It's at 1700 North Cimarron Boulevard.
Right. Featured on Basketball Wives, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Wayne Payne.
Well, my name is Wayne Payne. I met Joffrey 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, 2 years and some change, and we met in a weird place, which was post time,
social setting,
social setting, and I noticed something about him when I met him, and we started talking, and we've been chatting ever since, and chewing the fat and learning together, because it's been a learning together thing, and which has been good for both of us. I think healthy for both of us, because we all need that support. So it's been good meeting him and knowing him. And he's a good young man. He's a good young man.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. I didn't expect y'all to drop the love on me like that, but thank you. Thank you. But hey, let's jump into it, man. June 2024. June's one of those pivotal months because it's like we're at the 6-month mark. We're kind of like, okay, halfway. Some of us may have set some goals. Did we get there? Did we not? Let me just do a little barometer test. How was it with you guys? 6 months. You're kind of hitting those goals, or ish, maybe?
This year, this year, 2024. Since COVID, it's been rough. Like when you own your own business, but this year has taught me. It is rough out here, but it's taught me the value of friendship and the value of the people that are actually there for you. And it's also taught me that it is okay to walk away when the situation does not suit you anymore.
Oh, wow. Okay. It looks like that was, hold on. That was a transition right there to the it's okay. So hold on. It's okay. Let's get that. And then we'll hear from Wayne. That was it's okay to say it again.
Oh, it's okay to walk away from a situation if it no longer suits you. If you've outgrown a friendship, if you've outgrown people, it's okay to walk away. That doesn't mean you don't love these people. You don't still hold them in the best regards. But for your own sanity, it's okay to walk away.
I receive
Absolutely.
That. I receive that. You feel the same way?
Absolutely. I had to transition last month, 2 months ago, from which I told you I left that dude.
Oh, right.
Working with him because he was my welcome had been worn out, and and I had to transition to working for myself completely now, as opposed to, and it is okay, because sometimes when you hang in there or stay in there or whatever you want to call it, people walk all on you like you're a welcome mat, and that's not a cool thing, and that's not my name, so I don't. So your name is Jessyka. It's not welcome, so You have to let them know. And I'm sorry, Jessica, I don't hold them in any regard anymore.
But like, I find it sometimes hard to make those cuts. How have you guys kind of done that at times where you had to say, okay, like I'm gonna
Simply,
cut this, huh?
you distance yourself. You
Mm.
have to choose whether you want to be in and around this kind of negative energy where it becomes physical, like in your heart and in your soul, and like your body reacts in a negative way where you like, I don't, I hope the phone doesn't ring. I hope
Oh my
this.
god.
You know what I mean? Like, have you ever like you like somebody's gonna call you and like, oh God, they're calling me, and you like feel it in your gut, and I don't
Oh,
like that feeling.
nah,
And I
me neither.
think at this stage in life, I feel like you don't have to,
You don't have to.
and it's all right. It is okay.
It is
Yeah.
okay. I received that. I heard the
It's
term this week, energy vampires. Have you guys
Mm-hmm.
ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody was saying that to me, and
Uh-huh.
it reminds me of that those people that you don't really, it's okay to kind of, give them that, cut that cord. They're like energy vampires. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
unnecessary. So, but yeah, thank you for that, Jess. Wayne, what about for you? What was your? It's okay.
It's about the same. My it's
Oh,
okay was, let me see, what did I write down? Um, I wrote something down this morning, but
yeah,
my it's okay is it's okay to be me. It's
it's okay
okay
to
to love me. It's okay
yeah,
to like me. It's okay to separate yourself from those jokers that don't even appreciate you. It's okay, and you can do it without remorse or regret.
right,
And
right,
you can do it as long as needed because, as Jessica said, you start feeling bad and you don't need to feel bad. I'm not here to feel bad for you. I'm way too old for that. You know, so my life is my life, and I understand that clearly, and
yeah,
I share it where I want. We talked about the tribe. Remember Soul Tribes?
yes,
You and I,
yes,
we talked about the Soul Tribes,
yeah,
and your tribe.
yep, yep,
Those are the ones you turn to when you need. Those are the ones that turn to you when they need you, and you know who they are,
right,
and they appreciate and respect you fully. And if
right,
they don't belong in. They don't belong in your family, and it's not
yeah.
always blood.
That's true.
So,
That's true. That's true. Now that's real.
but for me,
That's real.
it's okay to be yourself, and when you find out who you are, it's okay to be that
Yeah.
individual.
I find it hard sometimes for people to really walk into that though, to like say, okay, I can put me first, because I think we're taught growing up to really become someone else. Yeah, when I was growing up, I want to be like Mike. We all wanted to
Yeah,
be like Michael Jordan or whatever. We always want to
yeah,
be someone else, and I think that's dope, man. And I'm hoping to walk in that same, hey, put me first. It's funny. I was sharing with Jessica. I remember a time back, and I would be like, okay, this month it's gonna be this month, and I was this month. Okay,
I double booked myself.
yeah, I just been, and it's crazy, the things that I found myself doing, just like, okay, like Wayne saying, let me put myself first, man, and see what that's like, and I got a chance to do that, maybe last weekend. I'm
hmm
transitioning. I'm like, July is gonna be the month where it's happening. You feel me? My it's okay was, it's okay to have, well, it was a couple fear, but it's okay to have fun fear. It's okay to like run into fear, like be afraid and like go into it, right? So this is what I mean by that. I think fun fear is okay because you get a chance to increase your faith, of
uh,
like, you believe in like yourself, or believe, let's say if you believe in like a higher power or whatever. So like I got a chance to go zip lining the other day. And it was kind of scary because like where it was at and stuff. But
mhm.
it was like, man, yeah, something could happen here, you know, but I get to trust in something greater than me. Someone was saying, "Hey, trust the harness. Just trust the harness." And I'm gonna trust God. You know,
I like, I
no, but
like
I get it. But I get it. You fear allows you to take it off of you and trust in something. You could even trust in yourself. It could be yourself. So that's kind of cool. Like your faith can grow through fear, and I saw that this month. That it's okay to run into fun fear. You know, nothing wrong with
yeah.
that. explore
That
that,
sounds
man.
pretty cool. I've
Yeah,
never put that way, but yes, I understand.
yeah.
Fan of fun fear.
Are
Like
you?
I'm not. I don't think that it's a good idea to jump out of a perfectly
I'm with you with that. I'm with you with
good idea to,
that.
bungee jump
Yo,
I
across
don't.
the river.
I'm
I
with
think those are good ideas. But you know
And
what?
that's a good idea.
you know, it's funny you say that because after that experience, I was like, man, I low key might go skydiving now.
I will
Like,
take pictures for you.
you take pictures. I was like, why
You
not?
know, from the ground, right?
From the ground.
A telelens. Yep.
So I have
Yo,
a question. I have a question for both of you.
okay, yeah. Shoot.
I have one question for both of you.
Okay.
The question is, when you put your feet on the floor in the morning, do you think about it?
No, not for me.
Lately, no.
Lately.
Okay.
Ooh. So there was a time where
I
you
asked
did.
this question. Why? Why do I ask this question? Because I was having a discussion with someone the other day, and they were telling me about faith, and I said, "Well, it can't get no better than this because when you get up in the morning, you put your feet on the floor and you just get up and walk.
Yeah.
Correct?
Right.
So
Right.
and she was telling me that she never thought about it that way, but that's the ultimate faith because that's something we don't pray about. Pray for my feet, Lord, unless you have a foot accident or something, you know. But overall, we just put our feet on the floor and
Right.
we
Right.
get up and walk. That's
Right.
that's faith you can't buy, the faith you can't fake. Because I've never, ever, till this day, I still get up in the morning, put my feet on the floor, and get up and walk.
Huh.
Input.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I heard a phrase before that everybody is like dealt a measure of faith. So it's like I feel like we each have it within us and we live it out in various ways. And we just kind of like it might not be conscious, but that it's in us and it has to be watered in some way. So like the more we water it, the more we can see ourselves doing different things cuz like I want to have my own business, right? One day, right?
Mhm.
But there are things that are hindering me and I think it's just myself. Like I want to like get into the music some more, you know, be better with the podcasting, do this, all this type of stuff. And I'm just like, man, I wake up in the morning, like you said, put my feet on the floor and I'm good. So why don't I just jump into the what I need to with the music and stuff and have faith that it'll go somewhere? And I think for me, sometimes we are our own we're like our own, like we hinder ourselves, you know what I'm saying, from really stepping into it.
Say
And
that again, Jessica. Say that again.
Your own worst critic?
Yeah,
yeah, you
we're
know,
harder on ourselves. What I tell you all the time: be
right,
easy on yourself, young man.
yeah,
Easy.
right. And I find myself doing that and I'm hoping to make that pivot to tap into that more and see where faith, because faith is going to take you somewhere, right? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I have a question for both of
yeah.
Okay.
you.
Uh-huh.
You guys talk about faith a lot, right?
Uh-huh.
So is that faith within an outer, or like a higher being, or is that faith within yourself?
That's good. That's good.
Um, shall I go or you go? I mean, I'll go.
I'll
That,
I'll
that's
I'm
that's an
gonna
that's a
with you.
wonderful question.
It is.
However, first of all, my faith is in the builder of the builder of the universe. That's where my faith comes, and every ounce of strength and thing that's in me comes from that source. I'm nothing without it. That's how I walk. That's how Wayne walks. I can't talk for anybody else, Jessica, but that's how Wayne walks. I walk only due to the fact that he allows me to walk. And anywhere I go, anything I have, anything I do, that's how my faith has grown over the years. Though I'm 60 now, I'm not 12, I'm not 20, I'm not 30, I'm not 40. I've seen a lot of crap, and I'm going to see a whole lot more. That's the fun part. Uh,
Right.
but he allows me to be who, and he allows me to share, and he gives me the faith to walk in the words that I say and know they're real and comfortable with them. When I say to another man, be easy on yourself, I mean, be easy on yourself because there's no use in being harmful to yourself. Be easy I say it to just Joffrey all the time. Be easy on yourself, man. You got this. You're gonna be fine. So the same way I comfort him, he comforts me. And that's, if I answered the question, I hope I answered some of the question.
I think that you did. And I think for me, I think it's both. I think it's both. I think, but they're connected. I think it's both, but
Yeah.
it's connected. Like I have, like if someone's like, okay, I remember when my dad was teaching me how to ride a bike, right? So he's teaching me how to ride a bike, and like there's the neighbor, this girl, she's with us, and I'm like riding, but he's holding on to the seat, but he's like letting go, holding on, and I'm like making sure that he's holding on, like, and then there's a point in time where I have to be okay
Go
with
ahead.
going forward, right? Where I'm going forward, and he's not. I'll never forget that day, and he's not holding on anymore, and we're riding and we're going, and I think in that moment I didn't know really to tap into something greater than myself, outside of myself, though I believe that that entity was there, that the creator was
Mhm.
there, but in that moment I think I had to say I can do this, and because faith, I think it's always you and something else. So I had faith that in my father, even if I busted my butt, like even if he's still there, right?
Yeah.
But I also needed to go forward. Like I had to like be like, yo, go, and it happened. But so that's why I think it's both. I think it's the faith is something you're tapping into, something outside of you, and you're also tapping into what's in you that I think comes from the being that's outside of you. You know, that's like, hey,
Absolutely.
like you got it. You can keep going forward,
Yeah.
but you got to know that it's there
Yeah.
and keep pushing forward with that. So
Mhm.
that's how I kind of see it. Yeah. What's your
Now,
thought? What's your thought? That's
that's,
what's your
that's
thought?
the same question to you.
Yeah. What's your thoughts?
You guys might not like my answer.
That's all
No,
right.
no, you're
It doesn't
so,
matter. This is an open forum,
yeah,
non-judgmental,
I
just
have
open
a.
forum.
yeah.
Can I go turn on my light real quick? Because I realized I'm sitting in the room and there's no lights on.
Turn it on. Turn it on. Turn it on. Yeah, this is a judgment-free area, man. That's what makes it so beautiful. You know?
Okay, so I grew up in a household where back in Vietnam, like during the war, my parents went through war and famine and all the destruction that comes with that, right? So my my mother my mother's family was well off. Like they helped the community, they had a lot of resources, so they were able to like feed the community with little that it didn't get taken away or whatever. My dad's family was very poor, and my dad's family is Buddhist, right? And the missionaries came in like during the war trying to help. They're Catholic, and they came to the family and they said, you know, like to my mom's family, to my grandfather, hey, you know, we want to help you. Da 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 da. We'll help feed your family. We'll help protect you. But they wanted them to convert to become Catholic.
Yeah, yeah.
Catholicism. Yeah.
Yeah. So growing up, I was exposed to both.
Mm.
Like to both religions, but not like pounded into me. But I
Right,
was
right,
exposed
right.
to it, so I appreciated that. I only asked the question because oftentimes I know, like when my brother was going through a lot of health issues and like just suffering so much at 19,
Mm.
and me watching that, it made me question my faith so
Mm.
much because I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why make him suffer so much? Or like when things happen badly in the world, like when a
Yeah.
child gets raped, or
Mm.
when like just senseless things happen, like
Yes.
an infant gets cancer, it makes me question my faith a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to answer that question, for me, I believe that the faith in yourself and that your ability to like be strong, I truly believe in that a lot. I'm very spiritual, but like when it comes to organized religion, I do have a lot of questions, like the man-made part of organized religion,
I also do. I
not the
respect that.
not the religious part of it, because
Yeah.
I believe that I think it's beautiful when somebody finds something to believe in, something
Yeah.
that guides them,
Absolutely.
something that moves them. I think that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
The construct of it, the
Yeah.
building, the all of that that goes with it,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Right.
question that often.
For
Yeah.
sure.
No doubt. I'm going to share something really quick. I'm going to make it brief.
Thank you for
I
sharing.
dig where you're coming from, pain,
Yeah.
suffering. I came from the wolves raised me, so to speak. I'm where I am due to something bigger than me. That's all I'm saying. I ain't been in a building in a minute. I've had some crazy stuff happen in the buildings, so I don't really go into them. And I have lots of questions, and I ask those questions. Sometimes I get answers, sometimes I don't. So I'm patient enough to wait for the answer, whether it comes through Jessyka, whether it comes through Joffrey, whether it comes through my friends over here, my family over there. The answers always come.
Yeah.
So we just have to stay steadfast and patient. This is one thing I learned this month. One thing I
Mm,
learned, I'm gonna just jump forward. I learned patience and pacing
okay.
myself and patience because I want it now.
Mm,
I transitioned from this guy to myself, and I wanted it now. I was sitting at home for a week, not knowing what to do with myself.
mm-hmm.
But I heard something. I had this conversation sitting on the couch, and I was like, "You know, you sit your ass down and be patient. That's what you do. You've worked 7 days a week for almost 2 years. Sit your
Shoot.
butt down and be patient. Everything that's going to come for you is going to come for you. Be patient, and that's for all of us."
Right.
I agree. I mean, that's a lesson that I really need to learn. I own a nail salon. I can't even sit still to get my nails done.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do 300. I'm like, okay, I got to
Yep.
do this. I got to do this. And I'm like, I'm the worst client ever. I gotta sit my ass down and relax.
Whole spot.
You got a little something from that, huh? So,
Of course,
and
no,
it's about pacing yourself and being
Yeah.
patient.
I'm the first one to admit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Embrace,
cool.
embrace your own pace. I think that's
Yeah,
a beautiful thing, man. And I remember something that Jessica said too about questioning faith and then mixing that with patience. I remember growing up. I grew up in the church and stuff, and they were like, "Yo, like, don't question God, don't question God." So those are some
and
man-made ideas and thoughts that aren't really true. They're not even like that's so far from the truth. You definitely want to question. You
yeah,
want to
you
like
want to question where you going?
yeah, because if my mom is telling me something and I don't get it, I'm like, or if something is happening, I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. So why did that? I don't think she's gonna be like, don't you ever question me. No, and I think God is the same. And man, I'm sorry that kind of that happened to your family. Where it's like, yo, in order for
Yeah,
us to
yeah,
help you, like you have to like
yeah. That's
do it this way. Because that's not real. That's not really how the book flows it.
that's how
And it's
the. Go ahead.
So
Go
no, I
the
ahead.
just said that's really not how it flows. Like the Bible or however, God is not really like that.
But
But
that's
it's
how man flows.
that is how
That's
man
how
right, I
man
was
flows.
just
flows.
say the same thing. Like the man-made part of that is
Yeah.
what I
You're
question.
trouble with you're
Yeah,
trouble with it because you watch it. Look at
sure.
America. I'm putting a disclaimer out there. Hold up before I say this. Look at America, but I'm not insulting anyone. Okay, I put the disclaimer out there. But look at America. And I was talking. Joffrey and I were talking before you got on, Jessica, and we were just casually talking about why we're so entangled with protecting villains and rich people. Why do we down here, the working people, tend to argue and fuss and fight over these people that have everything that we're trying to get? We argue, we fight, we praise them, and we have nothing but hard times and hard work. So
Yeah,
why are we so bent? Maybe you can answer this question, Jessica. Why are we so bent on praising them, arguing over Donald Trump and Biden and the country's been in the worst state for the past 40 years and nobody's paying attention to that, and we are arguing and fussing over these beings
Reese.
I can't
beings.
I can't really answer that question for you because number one, I try not to listen to the news often.
Me too.
I read what I need to read and I'll do the research and then but I try not to because it makes me sad.
Yeah.
Right.
It
Right.
makes me really sad because a lot of it like doesn't make sense and it is crazy and okay, not disclaimer, but being an immigrant from, a country like Vietnam, for me, like There's a saying in Vietnamese that says something like, "We're all drops of water in one river. Destiny takes us like either to the ocean or the Gulf." You
Okay.
know,
Oh,
so my cousins, some of my cousins were born like the same night as me. Why did I get to go to America? Um, why do I get to be able to like live the American dream or have that opportunity, right?
right,
So
right.
for us, our family, America has been. My parents risked life and limb to come to this country. They
Okay.
left on a little fishing canoe with me as a 9 month old. They were 19 and 20,
Wow.
and they navigate. And I'm not lying to you, by the stars
Wow.
to
Well, that's
get
what they're for.
right to get
Wow,
from
that's wild.
Vietnam in the
Yeah.
middle of the night to Hong Kong. Hong Kong told them, "Listen, we want to help you, but we can't. Here's some money, but you got to go." So they
Wow.
got shipped over to the Philippines. In the
Wow.
Philippines, they don't have status. They're in a country where they don't have any rights, any citizenships, anything.
Saw that on a couple documentaries.
So they
Mhm.
were there for 6 months. And then my uncle, who was able to get to America, was able to sponsor us, and we ended up in Kansas.
Wow.
So
Oh,
my parents came here with nothing, no knowledge of the language, of the culture, of anything. They couldn't figure anything out.
wow.
Okay.
But but my parents have like fifth grade educations, but they're allowed the opportunity in America to put their
Make-
kids to school, to build businesses, to own homes, and they
Absolutely.
work incredibly hard. And for that, I am so incredibly thankful to
Okay.
this.
Okay.
I'm very.
I respect that. I respect that. I dig.
However, I don't understand the political climate. I don't understand like why like the all the anything. Like I couldn't answer a single word to the question that makes any
Well, I've
sense.
been here all my life and watching it, and being a man of color in this country, you get treated. I was a reservist, for instance. I was a Army reservist for 6 years, and because you're regular Army, and if you're Army reservist, you get treated differently. Not because of the color of the skin, just because you're in a different class. So this country has always been a separate uh, even if it's not a separate entity, they'll make three or four separate entities out of one entity. So
Right.
it's just ridiculous. But anyway, I respect your story. You teaching me something about when I start to complain about whatever I've been through, somebody's been through it worse because you could have died over there getting here, and
On
you
that
didn't, and you made it here. Go ahead. Go ahead. No,
nah,
go ahead.
yeah, on that canoe. That's it. I was just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like,
So
wow.
when you think you've been somewhere, you meet someone that's been somewhere else, and that's a hell of a story. Hmm?
One of
Yeah,
the things that so in my circles, in my business, in my regular life, I like I think Joffrey, you've seen like the staff
yeah.
at the salon, right? We're like the United Nations.
Word. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Every
For sure.
color, every race, every because
Wonderful.
I've been so fortunate to be able to live in places and connect with people as people and not because of their skin color. But
Absolutely.
I have talked to like many people of color and like there's no way I could tell you, wait, I understand how it is to be a black man in America. There's absolutely
Yeah.
no way whatsoever.
Right, right, right.
But
Yeah.
I couldn't even start to understand what you go through as a black man in America, right?
Absolutely.
But as an Asian woman in America, I feel like I'm a little bit more fortunate because we're widely, I have an advantage socially.
Yeah, real. That's real.
But the first time I ever felt fear, speaking of current events,
Hmm.
first time I actually
We're
felt
going
fear
there. We're going there.
was during that COVID thing with the Asian hate thing going around.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Because
serious.
I've never lived my life in fear.
That was
I
Mm.
serious.
always try to like, you know, see the very best in people. Like I know there's good people out there,
Yeah.
and if even when people do crazy things, I'm like, "Oh, I wonder what, like there has to be a logical reason in
I'm
my
not.
head, but
Yeah.
it's not
That's
always
the
like that.
mindset.
But that was the very first time that I felt fear as an Asian person, an Asian woman in America, fear for my family, fear for my kids, fear
Okay.
for my parents. That was the very, very first time. And I actually changed. I was going up to Atlanta just to go to Atlanta. And that was like 2 weeks after that thing happened at the nail salons when that dude went in and shot up the nail salon with a
Yeah.
bunch of Asian people.
Yeah.
Where was that? Where was that in Atlanta?
It was in Atlanta.
I remember it happening. Oh
Yeah.
yes, the big one. Yeah.
So I said, like I actually sat in my car and I cried and I said, why, and then that was the very first time I got to even like get an inkling of what Black people in America go through. Like the very, very first time in my life.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's
But it's
wild.
relative. It's all relative. Hate is hate.
Right.
Yeah,
That's one thing you learn. Hate is hate, and it's useless. And it's useless. It's so fucking useless. Excuse
Right.
me. It's so freaking useless.
No, but it's true. And that's why I'm blessed to be with people like yourselves, and because I feel like we are trying to be agents of love,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And how we cross, especially when we're together, that's what we're trying to do. So that love disseminates from us, and then it goes out there, man. And I think love
Absolutely.
always conquers hate. Always conquers.
Always. Oh, it costs though. It costs a lot to love because you have to stay on your love train no matter what happens. And a lot of times when you on your love train, people be coming with shotguns and shit. I mean, it's disclaimer.
They try to take you off the love.
What'd you say?
They try to take you off the love train.
Yeah, they try to take you off the love train. What did you say, Jessica?
I said sometimes it'd be hard to stay on that love train.
Yeah, it really does because people make it difficult because they come to you, they see you're full of love, and they don't even understand sometimes why they see you. I'm gonna share this with you, and I'm gonna shut up.
Nah, you're fine.
They see you, say Jessica or Joffrey. They see you, right? You ever be somewhere, and I shared this with a lovely lady that I know. I said, you ever be somewhere and people just stare at you? They don't say nothing, but they just stare at you. You know what I'm talking about? And they stare at you, and then they stare at you some more. Some get mad, some get happy. Some get frustrated. Some will walk up to you and say, you think you shit. Some will walk up to you and say, those sure are nice shoes you're having, because they understand. But they don't fully understand that their eyes are not just regular. Do you know what incorporates in the eyeball? A lot of shit. A lot of stuff, excuse me. A lot of stuff in the eyeball, right? So it's very, very, they have created lenses for cameras and telescope off the idea of the eyeball. Do you think they came up with this themselves? Okay, anyway. So when they see y'all, they see your light, they see your love, they see your joy, but they see it with their spiritual eyes. They don't see it with their natural eyes. They don't know what they're seeing. This is just my way of looking at it. And I may be totally wrong, but that's why people sometimes see you and they see your outer beauty, but they see your inner beauty. And they don't fully understand it, so it makes them mad. What do people do first when they don't understand things? They get angry, frustrated, discombobulated. And then you have something already full of light that'll come to you. Jessica, I'm sure some nice shoes you wear. Where you get them from? But someone will walk up to you. You think you the shit. You think you cute. You think you. No, I already know that part. You doing all that thinking. Or they'll walk up to you, and Joffrey, and say, a woman will walk up to you and say, I want to get to know you. You know how this goes.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Good.
But basically, a lot of people see the light and the love, and they don't understand it. So don't get mad when you're in your love train. I'm sure all connected. It's all connected. Back around. Don't get mad when you're in your love train and will treat you in a certain manner, because they're going to do that because you have light and you have love, and that's what it's about.
And that's real, man. We got to fight to stay on the train. Know that there's something on the inside. I want to read this quote. This wasn't planned, but I think I shared this with you before, Wayne. It, for saying, reminds me of this quote. Before we just talk about the highs and lows, right quick.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know we got off track.
No, we're good. It's I love this. Our deepest fear. Remember that one? I think I shared with you, Wayne. Our deepest fear. It's by Marianne Williamson. It says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light. You mentioned light. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And for me, I'm gonna put parentheses and frightens others. We ask ourselves, who am I? Who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented,
Look at
fabulous?
her. Look at
Act- Actually,
Right. So
her.
actually, who are you not to be? You are
Exactly.
a child. Yeah. It says you are a child of God. You playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as
Yep.
children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Absolutely. And
That's a
that's that
that's
light they see when you
cool.
walk in the room. You know what I'm talking about. Jessica, you can sit all over there with your hand on your chin and all. You know what I'm talking about when you walk in the rooms.
Walk in.
Josh, you know what I'm talking about when you walk in the
Yeah,
rooms and
for sure.
people look that they don't even know why they're looking, but they're like, God, Jesus Christ, what
Right.
the, who is that? And it's not the outer beauty that they're looking at. There's a spirit of light in us, and we have to recognize it. So that's
We
what
got
allows us to give our education away, our knowledge away. It's never ours, but we have this tendency to think if we know something is completely ours. It's not. You shared your story with us. You didn't have to. You did not have to, and I
right.
respect and appreciate it for the fullness that it is, because
Right.
that's a full stuff, you know. And everybody can't carry that weight, and everybody can't manage their lives to deal with that weight and keep moving forward. That's
Right.
one of the keys to this thing. Manage your life, pace yourself, be patient, and keep moving forward in a good and happy, comfortable way, and not to make other people feel uncomfortable. Go ahead.
Right.
you just read it,
Yeah.
so many lessons and so many
Mm.
things
Yeah.
resonated with me
Uh-huh.
in the last month of June.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Share with us about that. Share with us.
We
So,
listening.
but you had triggered a memory for me, like when I first, so I have twins, right? And my at the time when I was married, my husband traveled a lot for work. So I'm at home, two babies, they're both teething. I'm like, one's crying. I finally get that one like kind of laid down. I get the other one's crying. Like, have you ever seen like back in the day the commercials of the Romanian babies and they're just rocking themselves because they're hungry or whatever, and like they're just like going through it. That was me with two babies. I'm like,
Trying to figure it out.
and then I sat there and I just had like a epiphany. I was like, Jesse, are you serious right now? Your mom was 19 years old on a little boat with a 9-month-old baby that was covered in chicken pox. She didn't know it was chicken pox. She didn't know what that was. She thought that she did something wrong in life, and the Lord was punishing her by making her baby suffer.
Wow.
And so I
Huh.
said, I have a roof over my head. There's nothing that me or the kids need that we don't have. Like, I was like, you better stop sitting here crying boo hoo. I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, she's like, what's wrong? I just want to tell you, I love you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
She
Mom.
was like, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying? I said, I'm just thinking about when you were 19 years old and just going through it. And she
Wow.
was like, yeah, it was hard. It was really hard. She never got to see her mom again. Her mom
Mm-hmm.
passed away when I was 12.
Mm-hmm.
She never got to go back to the country to see her mom again. You know, like so it puts things into so much perspective.
Perspective. Yeah, absolutely.
It makes me so grateful for anybody that brings any positivity in my life, no matter how small. No matter
Absolutely.
how small. It's always a
Absolutely.
blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See that,
Wow.
man. I think gratefulness is something uh that's that's a that's powerful. I think Wayne, you shared that with me before about just about gratefulness, and being grateful, And and I think I know I don't do enough reflection, like looking back sometimes and remembering those moments, and I think That's something I want to begin to do more. Someone told me about getting a journal just to write down like your maybe like those good moments, like
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
things kind of
You
happen.
know who that was, Joffrey?
Y'all went through that already, right?
Oh wait, that
Some, some,
I,
something way you said,
was
don't be so hard on yourself. Remember, Joffrey, I said
yeah,
you need to show yourself some grace.
yeah,
yeah. That's
The
both
absolutely,
of
same,
y'all were giving yes.
absolutely.
same grace you show your friends, the
Yep, your
same
family. Yeah,
energy and love you pour into other people. Imagine what you could do if you poured a little bit of that into yourself.
and you yourself, absolutely. I
So let
tell.
me ask you guys. So let
Go
me
ahead.
ask you guys, why is it so hard sometimes to give ourselves grace?
Because we're selfless. A lot of us are selfless.
Go
We
ahead.
want to take care of everybody around us. And
Mm,
that's like, you know why we try to take care of everybody around us?
Yep.
Because we would love for one day to somebody to take care of us the way.
oh my gosh.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Dang.
Think
Well,
about it, you know?
yeah, absolutely. So, in saying that,
Wow.
I am a true believer that what she said. That's all I got. That's all I got. But real talk.
Yeah. Talk to us.
When you invest in yourself, man, when you invest in yourself, you're invested in others automatically. The more you invest in you, the more you invest in others. That's just the way this thing bounces. I don't know why it bounces this way. I say that because I live it every day. So the more I invest in Wayne, and Jessica, Joffrey,
Yeah.
you know that if you don't take care of you, you can't do for nobody. So you have to fully invest in yourself. I use the word fully in front of that. Fully invest in yourself. And stop
Mm,
thinking so hard about that dumb shit. Seriously, that's the disclaimer. Stop thinking so hard about the dumb shit that don't matter.
yeah.
Think about the stuff that matters. When you sit down and say, this is what really matters in my life, and this is where Joffrey wants to go, you'll figure it out. And be patient. Be patient because it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
But you think hard about some stuff that don't even matter. Because I'm gonna tell you this from being this age, what the women think don't matter. What the guys think don't matter. Real talk.
I agree. I
Yeah.
What
agree.
Yeah.
what you think matters. What you think about Joffrey
Hmm.
matters.
Right. Right.
And that's for every individual in this world, including myself.
My kids always, when like, so they're 14 right now, right? So they'll be like, Mommy. Oh, so my daughter comes home. She's like, Mommy,
Family.
she's crying. She's upset. I go, what's wrong? She's like, this boy called me ugly today. And I said, and she like was really hurt. You know,
Yeah.
at that age, it's like you're trying to like
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
Right.
said, baby, we look exactly the same. Do you think mommy's ugly? She's like, no, you're not ugly. I said, baby, you're not ugly. And she goes, but you're only saying that because you're my mom. Right? And I was like, no. I said, she goes, "But, like all my friends get asked out, and I'm the only one that's not getting asked out, and like they probably don't like me. And I said, baby, at the end of the day, everybody is worried about how everybody else don't like them. So
Yep.
you need to like you.
Yep.
You need to like understand that like the world is not promised to be kind to you, right? But my job as your parent is to give you the skills and the mechanisms to be able to handle that and to be able to love on yourself, to be
Absolutely.
able to know that regardless if somebody's crusty son just called you ugly,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
it's not ugly.
Absolutely.
Like you're gaslighting me.
So I'm going to connect something with that. I'm going to
Connect.
connect something with that.
Thanks for that, Jess. Huh?
When we all grew up, we all grew up a certain way. I grew up
Yeah.
in the '70s, and we were told sit down, shut up. We didn't have an opinion. Now, the way that people raised us in the '70s in Philadelphia, I realized they ain't have much sense. That's just me. So the sense that they did have, that's what they raised us with. Now I grew up with that sense. It wasn't all good sense, but now I find myself as a man, because I'm telling you, I drank for a long time. So as a man at 29, when I stopped drinking, when I became in the manhood, I stopped drinking at 28. But as a man, I stopped drinking and started growing up as a man. That's when I realized I got a lot of work to do. And I had to work myself out of all the beliefs and foolishness that these people had trained me and bent me into. So I had to
Mm,
work myself, and now I'm 60 and I'm free. I have a certain freedom that I'm telling you that some men will never have because they don't think and they don't
mm.
want out. That's why you got grown behind men acting like freaking idiots and dodos, white, black, purple, green, orange, and people believing in money more than they believe in another human being.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So
to,
that's
to,
why it felt like Jessica, you were setting up your daughter for the freedom early.
Exactly. That's
Right.
why
Early.
the
really,
connection.
Now
I'm
you are
You didn't know,
that's what Wayne is saying.
Jessica.
He didn't get that. He didn't get that.
Jessica, I got it. I got it. That's why I mentioned what I mentioned, the
Right.
connection. I was thinking while you were talking, like, I wish I had that
You
conversation.
had that right. And get that growing up.
I wish
Right.
I was not afforded that conversation either.
exactly.
Right. A
But
lot
you
of us
learned that you can give it. And the
mm,
strength and the maturity and the direction, all those things. And the focus because you don't want them to fail.
No.
yeah.
And what you said earlier about like, as a 28-year-old and, like growing up, you were taught a certain way or not taught a certain way. But
Absolutely.
now as a man, you're able to make your own, you're at free will to make your own
Yeah,
decisions to decide how you want your life to be. And,
exactly.
and I tell that to a lot of people, men and women.
Mm,
Uh, and they're like, oh, I didn't have my mom growing up. And I was like, listen, but are you a grown up now?
Exactly.
You
mm,
cannot keep your history and your past to
mm.
sit here and blame that because now you're a grown up and you can make your own decisions. You have to
Absolutely.
be able to break those chains, and because grown ups are not always right, because that's why I tell kids all the time. I try to give them a voice, and I said you always need to be polite when you need to say what you need to say, but don't ever feel like you do not have a voice.
Absolutely.
Because back in the, you said you were raised in the 70s.
Mhm.
um in the 80s, like there wasn't a lot of like Asian people there. My little brother, this his teacher was named Miss Norwood, was this black lady in Texas, and she put my brother in the closet for weeks and weeks and weeks every single day
Sorry, that's crazy, but
at school. And then like we didn't know any better to say, hey, this is wrong.
this is wrong.
As an adult, that's
Yeah,
wrong.
that's
Oh my
wrong.
gosh.
Yeah.
You don't do that. And he just sat in the closet all day during school because he didn't speak English well and she didn't want to deal with him.
And she was a racist. Let's tell it like it is.
Back then, like now
Yep.
things still trigger me. Like when people like make fun of like ching chong, I'm like, is it 2024? People
Wow.
still make fun of that?
How do you think? How you think I feel?
Right. I'm just like,
2024, and they still making fun of. Yeah,
I'm like,
So
that is,
they make
that's
fun and want to be like you at the same time. That's the crazy part.
yeah, that's an interesting frequency there.
yeah,
Yo,
I just
that's
think I
wild
chalk
though.
it to
God.
ignorance.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
exactly because they're not thinking. What were you about to say, bro?
I don't know, man. I feel like it's a little. I agree that it's ignorance, but a little more. I think people that are in those positions of influence, like a teacher, a mother, a father, um,
They should have what?
Since
I think they should definitely
Exactly. It's not rocket science.
know, and I think there's something happening within them that isn't all the way right, isn't all the way there. Because first off, no matter what language this kid's speaking, like it's a child, and this is
As a
someone's
child, and
and
they
I'm
should have enough
entrusted.
common sense and common compassion for a child as opposed.
Right.
And look, this
So I'm
thing too far
entrusted.
down the road. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm entrusted with this being, and it's a blessing. It's just like it's a blessing to be even in the kid, like as it's. I taught for a little bit, and even when I'm with these kids, some of them are interesting, but I'm just like, man, this is dope that I have an opportunity to kind of share with you guys as you guys are going to be the new world changers. Like y'all are going to
Hmm.
be the ones to shift this thing.
Hmm.
And it's just crazy how we just have such a disregard for life. We just have
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm so saddened that she would just do that to him.
That's
Like
why I asked the question about why
that's
do we attach ourselves to stuff and not each other?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild, man. It's wild. Man, if this has been a dope conversation, we gotta do another one, man. But let's do this. As we are gonna land the plane, if I were to ask you guys, like, if you could share, like, let's say maybe the greatest advice or understanding that's kind of helped you to be grounded, that's kind of stuck with you these last couple of years, or even in June, you might have seen something, or even something that's been carrying over, like what in this moment, like what would you guys say, especially to maybe the young individual, maybe the young kid, that his teacher hasn't been treating him right, maybe to the individual who's grown up in a city like Philly that hasn't been surrounded by certain people that should have been there for him. Like what would you guys say to those individuals? Because this podcast, hey, it's on a platform where anyone can just come
Like
across
this.
it. What would y'all say to that individual
Go first,
as
Mr.
as we wrap up? As we
You
wrap up.
you want me to go first, or you want to go? Go ahead. Oh, I would uh, I would say first of all, um, look at yourself, seat
Mm,
yourself around the best people. This might be broad, but seat yourself around the good people that you know. That's not easy because friends change and flighty and so forth. And the way the world, the way people are now, it's a little different. But the way I look at it now, it's more difficult. It's more difficult for it's a tough thing. But I would say, look at yourself, stay close to the ones that love you and the ones that you love. I mean, genuinely love. Um, Try your best to get as much information from those who love you because they're going to be truthful and honest with you,
right.
truthful with you. Um, Absorb that information, absorb it, take it in, breathe it in, become some of that information, that good information because we know when we're getting the good information, we know when we're getting bad information. So
Right, right,
absorb
right,
that
right.
information from those people that love you and don't be afraid to ask questions, but also learn not to be afraid to get the answer because sometimes the
Uh,
answer is not always sweet and taste good. It don't always taste good, so you have to be prepared for that. They're growing up fast. They're growing up faster than we did, so they have a little more edge on them than we did. Um,
mm,
so I would say manage your life with the help of the parents and loved ones that you best can. And I suggest for the parents, parent them. Do not befriend them. Parent them. Do not befriend them. One of the things that's happening, no disclaimer on this one, fuck that. These parents, and I say it this way because these parents are now befriending the children and letting them lose their stability. They have to listen to what I'm about to say. They have to worry about putting their feet on the floor. We didn't. Y'all dig?
mm. Oh, we talked about wow, you brought it back. You brought it back.
Come back, but I went forward. So
Got you.
I would suggest they breathe in as much good, intelligent, positive things as possible. I don't know how that works because I have grandchildren, and my oldest is 22, and he's very, very bright. My other one's 16, the other one's 14, but he's a little wild being. So right now, but I always disperse as much positive and helpful that I can give. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to shut up. I, I allow them the privilege of being respectful. I allow
Mm,
them the privilege of being respectful because when they talk to me, it's yes, sir. When they ask me a question, it's yes. I treat them the same way. So I allow them the privilege of being respectful. We don't give it any other way. We don't lie to each other. We made pacts on that. We don't lie to each other. Much of it may suck.
right, right, right.
So if you find that loved one that loves you like you love your children, you're going to tell them the truth. And that's what we need to hear more of. Not befriending. That befriending has turned this nation sour. But
Mm,
that's all I got.
appreciate that, Wayne. Thank you, brother. Thank you for that, man. That's
It's
solid.
on you now, Jessica.
And with Jessica on
Well,
this
I
one.
really appreciate it. And you said the thing about not befriending your kids.
Mm,
I keep telling my kids, I said, I can't wait to be your friend when you are grown up. But right now, I can't be your friend.
Mm-mm.
I have to guide you. I have to, I have to make sure that you have the skills you need to be able to function and like get back into this world. So I agree with you on that. But my advice to anybody is be the superhero that you needed when you were growing up. Because now we have that ability as a grown up, be the change that you want to see in the world, be the kindness that you want to see in the world, even if it's not like the cool thing to do right now. You know what I mean? That's it. And on that note, like I try to tell people, like nobody's coming to rescue you. You got to do it on your own.
Act like you were raised by wolves.
You gotta do this on your own, because people in life, no one has to help you. But when they do, out of the goodness of their soul, out of the kindness of their heart, like I'm so forever grateful. And I will remember that for always and always.
Right.
But yeah, you have to be your own superhero.
Yes.
Right. Man.
Wow. We got a lot of information today.
Man, y'all shared a lot. Like, whoa, hey man, I appreciate you guys for joining us for the June 2024 recap. This is like not even June 2024. This is a life recap. Like, you guys
well, she shared stories that moved me to thinking that when things happen, you fight some more. When shit happens, you fight some more. Especially when it's trying to pull you down, you fight some more. And that's what we need to teach our kids, because when the bad stuff's happening, they just rolling right into it instead of fighting back.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, man, I'm really thankful. And I think that this is a podcast that this episode, we're going to definitely have to like watch and rewatch and catch, because there was a lot that both of you dropped in here today, man. I definitely want to thank y'all, for this time.
This is an honor. It's always an honor.
Sure. I want to thank those who are tuning in or who are about to tune in and see this. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button when you can. Drop a comment on the video. Check out the nail salon if you're here in Orlando when you can. And also soon to come, Payne's Detailing coming your way. I had to throw that in there as well. You feel me? So yeah, man. Well, thank you guys again for being here. And hey, thank you guys for listening to Sweet Something. We hope that you were
thank you for having us.
So you can grow. Definitely. All right, y'all. Y'all take care, all right?
You too.
All right. Be well.
All right.